So we're changing things up a little bit for this go round, and as you can see, things are slightly more abstract, if you will, behind me. I want to introduce you to this incredible beauty to my right, Isabelle Alessandra. She is, well, pretty much, I want to take you to Festival of the Arts and Pageant Masters because this year it's a la mode and fashion is the inspiration. These are the most incredible backdrops, and if you visit her on Instagram or her website, and we'll give you that information in a little bit, you'll be able to see some really incredibly fun pictures from the opening of Festival of Arts, where she was able to have some beautiful things. In fact, there's even a beautiful lady that's walking around today that matches almost perfectly like it was planned with this, but
it wasn't.
It wasn't planned. Isabelle, how are you, my dear?
I'm good.
It's lovely to meet you. So good to have you. So talk to me, and my favorite thing to always ask is when you were younger, did you have a nickname?
Izzy.
And what was Izzy? Who gave you that nickname?
My dad.
Your dad?
Yeah, Izzy, and actually Ding Dong.
And Ding Dong. Okay, what's the story behind Ding Dong? Isabelle Ding Dong?
Ding Dong.
That's so cute.
Yeah, I guess so.
I love it. No, but I mean, I think that's the thing that I like about in conversation is we're able to find out these things because this is stunning. You are stunning, but we don't know anything about you. So I want to get to know you. So talk to me about what Isabelle was like younger, when you maybe found your inspiration in art or whatever. Like, just walk me through a young Isabelle.
A young Isabelle. So I was a really brave little soul. I was a competitive figure skater.
Okay.
And I grew up in a very small little town in northern Canada, in Alberta.
Okay.
And when I was apparently 5 or 6 years old, my dad had a tiny little, he has a little store, and his store was for lumber workers, oil riggers, all of that kind of natural stuff up in the wilds.
Okay.
But he also sold some things like skates and things for kids. And so I got a pair of skates and I went to the local skating rink, which was about 5 or 6 blocks from our house. And I signed up for skating lessons.
At 6 years old, of course.
It was about
nothing big.
I guess 7 or 8 weeks of nobody paying for lessons when they thought they should maybe talk to my dad because no one had paid. And my mom and dad didn't know. And I was just, that's been me. I just kind of do stuff. And so
that's wild.
Yeah, and wild. I did grow up where it was wild. You know, if there was a moose on the playground or a bear or a grizzly or whatever, we wouldn't tell our teacher because recess would be canceled. So we'd all like be really good because we'd see it and we knew that if the teacher saw the animals, they would cancel recess and we wanted to go out and play. Okay,
you're a Spitfire. Like, I know you're a Spitfire anyway from when we were talking ahead of time. But just to have started out so young and been very vivacious and a go-getter, as you progress through life, obviously nothing has changed at this point.
No.
But talk to me about maybe the teen to 20-something, Isabelle, when you were moving kind of out of childhood into adulthood. What did that look like for you? Were you in Canada or were you down here or where?
Love your questions. So my mom was a painter. And she married my dad in the early 50s and gave that all up when she moved to a small town and it didn't feel it was the 50s.
Interesting. So, no, I understand. That's a very different time period.
Yes. And so, but she always put things in my hands and I had the best art teacher in high school. Everyone has a good teacher. That was mine. She encouraged me to major in fine art. But after the first year in university, we didn't have money. And I didn't know how I was going to pay bills. And that was in Edmonton. And it just isn't a fine art. It wasn't back then a fine art kind of environment. So I wasn't going to put food on the table. So I went into education. I came down to USC when I was 38 to do a PhD in education. And it morphed into change management. I ended up falling in love with the weather.
Okay, but what's change management?
Change management is when a company is struggling and they need to enroll people on some major changes in ways to do things differently, and people resist change. So my job was to go in and help everybody get buy-in and have a voice. So they would redesign the company together so that people could own it and make it work.
But you have such a unique backstory.
Yeah.
And then to move into something like that, where you are helping to steer the ship of corporate America or the world.
Yeah, sometimes.
That's so different.
Yeah.
Where did all of this come into play? I mean, you obviously have had this bug
Yeah.
in some way, shape, or form.
Did.
You know, from 6 years old and being the vivacious one who
Yeah.
precociously signed up for their
Yeah.
own, ice skating
Yeah.
lessons. How did this all come to be?
Well, there's two parts from that skating thing. So you learn when you're a skater and a little kid and grow up skating. All my life, that's what I did until, I guess, 17 or 18. You learn that when you fall, you have a couple of choices. One is you sit there and cry, or you get up and smile, or you get up and you quit. But I learned to get up and smile. So I learned to be really brave. I learned that when you fall and you get up, you can do all kinds of stuff. My mom, every time I'd have a career breakthrough, she would say to me, "That's great, but you need to be painting." And she was so sad when I gave up that year of university to do other things. So fast forward at 96 years old, she was in hospice and she'd lived a good life and she had everything, all her marbles. And I was with her and she decided that she saved this conversation. I'm going to start crying.
Do it. That's fine because I'll join you.
Okay.
Trust me.
She saved this conversation for the very last thing she ever said to me. And she timed it. And she said that she didn't want me to feel bad when she heard that when I hear this. She said, but I have a regret. And the regret is I gave away years of painting, and I wonder what would have happened to my life. And I'm 96, and these are the thoughts I'm having right now. And she said, I don't want you to have those thoughts. I watch you when you go in galleries and when you talk. And, we came to the Festival of Arts when she was 80, and she'd go to each booth and she'd say, my daughter could be here. And that was 16 years before this. And people would say to me, what do you do? And I don't do anything. Mom, stop telling people that. She said, you could be here. You can't even imagine when I got juried in.
100%.
But anyway, she said at those last minutes, I don't have much, but what I have, I'm leaving for you, and it should get you through a year to see if you can make this work. So I did. And after my first year of painting, I was juried into the Festival of Arts.
And that is such an honor.
Oh,
but I think it's
honor.
a different honor because I know that your mom was here every step of the way.
Oh, she is here right now.
And I think that's a special part that a lot of times, if we don't have these conversations, we don't get to find out because it's such a magical part.
Yeah.
Art changes lives.
Yeah.
And so thank you for sharing that with me. That was wonderful, seriously.
You're welcome.
But trying to bring it back here.
Okay.
And Mom, wherever you are, looking down or right here with us, thank you for this moment.
You're welcome.
But talk to me about abstract.
Okay.
Because the thing that's really interesting about, and I hate to turn the ship.
I can do it.
But
I'm
abstract
good.
is so
Good.
different comparatively to what I would anticipate somebody with that backstory would have gone through. So talk to me about abstract.
Well, my mom was a realistic painter, so she passed some of those skills on to me, and I was bored.
I get it.
Because there was a tree, and I could draw a tree, and I could draw you, and I can do all of that. And it didn't entertain me. It was like, but I already know what that looks like.
Right.
So I'd always try to play with it. But for me, this is really pivotal. I hide a little crown in all of my paintings.
Okay.
There's one. It's a big crown.
Right there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Got it.
But I hide one in all of my paintings. And the first prong goes to Basquiat. Because after my mom died, our dog had died, my mom died, my clients were all taken care of because I was with her in hospice.
Right.
So we went to Paris for a few months, and there was a Basquiat exhibit, and I was still numb, And I walked into this, it was 3 floors, and I walked in, it was so brave and so brave.
I mean, yes.
Courageously, incredibly bold and brave. And I thought, I understand this. I mean, my work isn't like Basquiat, but it's brave, and I am brave, and I dare things, and I love that I don't know what's going to happen with abstract. I understand the elements of design and I use them, but I start really free. And my biggest thing, honestly, is I have on my wall Think Joy,
Okay.
because I am so freaking happy to be here doing this thing that I do every day. I paint every day, and people buy my work. I mean, it's nuts.
Which is amazing. And
It's-
like, it's so
Oh.
special. And to have this backstory, here's what I wanted to do as our final
Yeah.
thought together. Someone who maybe experienced what your mom had experienced.
Yes.
Something that share some anecdotal story or some focus.
So good.
Because the point is, so many people aren't doing what
Right.
they're meant to do.
Right.
And you had an opportunity with your mother that was so special
Yeah.
in such a challenging part of life.
That was
So what
that
is
was
something,
4 years ago.
and that's incredible to be from 4 years ago to now.
Yes. And so here's the thing.
Yeah,
You proclaim something and put it out there.
to manifest it.
You manifest. And I'm sorry if I know that sounds weird. for
No, it
some
does
people,
not at all.
But you can align your own molecules that way. You make it real. You make it a vision, and you work towards it. And I will say the one thing that makes people more successful than others is focus and hard work. And if you have something you're passionate about and you want to do it, but work hard at it. If you want to be really good at it, work hard at it, and you will do it. You will do it. And I was 60 when I started. I'm almost 65. So, I don't buy it's too late for me. It's not too late. It's not too late.
That's the biggest thing. And I think you've heard the encouragement from Isabel here. Where can we learn more about you?
I am on Instagram. You're going to do that. I love
absolutely
Instagram.
love
I'm doing all kinds
Instagram.
of fun things. I'm here in Laguna Beach. I'm in Sandstone Gallery, and I'm in galleries in Bend, Oregon, at Peterson Contemporary. I'm in Jay Willett Gallery in Palm Desert. I'm in a lot of galleries. Actually.
You can find her a lot of
You can
places.
find me places, but mostly I'm here, and I will be here at the festival every single night, unless I don't know. I'll be here no
The
matter.
powers that be willing,
Yes,
she will be
I
here.
will be here.
I love
right
it.
Here.
And you can learn so much more about Isabel and all the other artists at Festival of the Arts and Pageant of the Masters. Nick Poliokini or This Weekend with Nick on Instagram. Also, you can catch this In Conversation on YouTube at In Conversation with Nick. And you can always visit thisweekendwithnick.com to learn more. Isabel, thank you for sharing the joy and the tears.
Thank you.
All happy
Love
tears,
this.
though.
Love
Thank you so
this.
much and enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.